Ego truly is a superpower. It really is, guys. Isn't that something? I always find that to be the case, where especially people who are believers, they tend to minimize themselves or beat themselves up for experiencing any form of ego at all or any thought of it, not knowing that ego in reality is something that is given to us. Now, everything in excess is bad. The thing is, healthy ego can be all the beneficial. So everyone coming in here today, hope you're all doing amazing and well. Look, the topic of today is ego. And to not fight ego, because the thing is, ego is a feeling. And there's a reason for every feeling. That's why anger exists. If anger wasn't meant to exist, we wouldn't have it. God wouldn't have created that as an emotion that we have. However, there is a time and place to be angry, just as there is a time and place to have ego. So let's make a deep dive into this. So I'm sure that if you find yourself trying to look at ego and say that it's a negative thing or a bad thing, you find yourself in a place where you're experiencing it a lot in your mind and in your life. You're seeing it a lot. It presents itself. It's being there. And you have this fear of, oh man, I don't want to be egotistical. I don't want to be arrogant. And that's a good concern, right? However, you need to know this. What is involved in the fact of when I'm with a partner and as a human, I don't want to be cheated on. I don't want to divorce. That's my natural inclination. So is that not ego there at all? Because then you say, well, it's God's design and God doesn't want us to get divorced. So that's why I may feel this, which is true. Now, with that being said, what does God give us internally to make that true? God would have to give us the things so that we don't do those things, so that we don't divorce, so that we do love. And then that's the component of ego. Yes, there's a healthy ego of man. Yes, I want to be a parent that my children look at and say, wow, I'm proud to have this person and grateful to have this person as my parent. Yes, I want my partner to say, wow, I'm lucky to be with this person. That's healthy ego. Or yes, I will put my life on the line for this family member or this person who cannot defend themselves. That's healthy ego. See, because in reality, in honoring God and in doing the things that we're called to do, you need to have a sense of that, a sense of healthy ego, a sense of, yes, God made me this person. I won't let God down as far as what I can do. And so I have healthy ego towards not sinning, towards being a coward, towards not doing my job, and towards doing my job. Everything has a place. You can't run from those things. You can't say, well, I'm experiencing ego now, and I feel that through me experiencing this, people around me may not like me due to the fact that I may be seen as arrogant or something like this. However, that's not the case. Because think about it this way. If you didn't have any ego at all, not an ounce of it, well, you would be supremely unsuccessful in absolutely every way. I mean, you wouldn't really be alive because you need it. There's ego in, okay, I know I need to eat food. Because if you didn't have ego, then maybe at times when, oh, you didn't want to eat, you wouldn't, knowing that you had to. Or knowing that I have to study for this exam, I have to pass this class. If you didn't have ego, you wouldn't do those things. You would merely let them pass and you would say, oh well, it's just whatever, it's anything. Because you're at that point just floating around aimlessly, meandering through the wind. And I don't want you to think, oh, awesome, man, that means I can be this arrogant person and just be rude to everyone and feel that I'm better than everyone and all of these things. Not at all. Because ego in reality is destructive. The full-fledged, full love of ego is destructive. Because ego impedes you from growing when you're so deeply rooted to it. The thing is, just as ego used incorrectly will impede you from growing, ego used correctly will grow you more than anything that could possibly help you. There's nothing like it, because what happens is this. Let's say you're a person who has injuries, as I was there. The ego of knowing, hey, I know what I'm capable of, I know that this won't defeat me, that's what keeps you going. And so you get yourself out of a deep and dark hole at times just with ego. That's the root of ego. Ego keeps you alive. Ego keeps you winning. Ego keeps you surviving. Now you need to know when to utilize it. So when it comes to your goals, that's going to be the point in time when ego is going to be utilized the most. And when it comes to loving your partner, you don't have ego towards them, but you have ego towards the fact that, yes, I am this person that this person fell in love with. I'm this person that God has created. And so I'm grateful to be. And you have a sense of ego in a healthy way of merely showcasing this, that yes, I am this individual and I'm proud to be. And I will do my job. I will do my role. There's a reason that God blessed me with being this person. And so there's an ego involved in doing what that person is tasked of doing on this planet Earth. And this is especially for men. Because if you always do this, every time these thoughts arise, or these feelings arise, all you're going to do is put yourself down, make yourself an individual that doesn't have any real worth, any real purpose, any real impact, any real importance, and we all do. So don't run from this. Don't shy away from this. This is a power. You need to use it. I know that you're on your path right now, and maybe you're in a very dark path right now, but you're trying to get out of the darkness into the light. And so there are exceptions, and maybe this is a period of your life when ego is going to be super prevalent, and it's the only thing you can use to stay alive. And I'm speaking to you directly because I was there too. And when I was in the pits and the darkness and the darkest, and there was no one around to aid me, just God guiding me. And on this battle, the only thing that I could do was use the gifts that God gave me. And I had to use supreme ego to get out. And you may need to use supreme ego to get out of that hole. And just know that everything is in a stage, and that will pass. Because if you never use that there will be points in your life where that presents itself again. And all of a sudden, you want to use this ego. But it's not the right time. That's why oftentimes, on a different note, still related, we see people who never got to be a child, when they get to be old, if they haven't done it in a godly way and are connected to God, what they do is they start to do things that you do in your childhood, in your adolescence. So now these people are married, but they're going to strip clubs and cheating on their wives and doing all these things and doing drugs because they never got to live that life of being a child. And now since you're an adult, there's more consequences. So there's a healthy way to do it. Because if that was you, when you're an adult, you're still an adult. However, you just have the innocence of a child with your partner especially, and you guys are really ever more connected. So yeah, guys, I really hope that everyone was able to get the point that I'm really trying to push here. That is, don't demonize ego. Ego is a gift, and we have it for a reason. If ego was not meant to exist within us at all, God wouldn't have created that in our bodies. It's an emotion, it's a feeling. Utilize it to get you out of the deep and dark holes, and only those. Use it to protect your family and to serve others, to know that you are a supremely capable individual, and you can use healthy ego to be aware of the gifts and blessings God has given to you. And use all of these things in order to serve God's kingdom. It's your time, and understand that you are supremely special. Love you all, guys and gals. Take care.